Nathaniel Hackett was hired as the new head coach for the Denver Broncos a couple of months ago in replace of Vic Fangio. He's an offensive-minded coach. He spent time as the offensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers over the last couple of years. He is somebody who is regarded in high regards from players and coaches. Players love playing for him. He had a really good relationship with Aaron Rodgers. When the Broncos first made this hire, many people thought that there's a high chance that Aaron Rodgers could get traded to Denver, but we saw how that went out, right? So then, what was the next best thing that the Broncos could do? You can't land Aaron Rodgers. Who else is out there? Well, you trade for Seattle Seahawks star quarterback Rusell Wilson, and you pair him up with Nathaniel Hackett. And I'm really intrigued in seeing how this is going to work. Because my first year expectations for Nathaniel Hackett with the Denver Broncos, I'm expecting this team to make it to the postseason. However, I don't know if they're going to make as deep as a playoff run as what many people expect them to do. And I don't think that there's a guarantee that they're going to win this division over the Chiefs, Chargers, because for Nathaniel Hackett, he has been a play caller before. He was the offensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars from 2016 to 2018. And his offenses weren't anything special. Okay, his first season as the OC for Jacksonville, they were 25th in points per game, they were 22nd in yards per game, they were 19th in pass yards per game, and they were 23rd in rushing yards per game. 2017 was his best season. That's when the Jacksonville Jaguars ended up having that Cinderella run of a season, and they went all the way to the AFC Conference Championship game, where they lost to the New England Patriots in controversial fashion. And during that year, they were 6th in passing yards per game, points per game, with 25.9. They were 9th in yards per game, 18th in pass yards per game, and they had the best rushing attack in the NFL that year. And then after 2017, things just fell off a cliff with the offense. They were one of the worst offenses in the league when it came to putting points up on the scoreboard, and they were near the bottom of the league in almost every statistical category outside of their run game, which was 20th, which was about average. And then he got fired after that. So for Nathaniel Hackett, some people are going to say, well, JT, he was with the Jaguars, he didn't have much to work with, he had Blake Bortles as his quarterback. Understandable. He's in a better situation with the Denver Broncos compared to the situation that he was in when he was calling plays with the Jaguars. And it's also worth noting that he is going to take control of play calling duties. He said that really early, as soon as he got hired. He said that he wants to have an aggressive offense and take shots downfield. And this kind of makes me a little bit skeptical about how far the Broncos can go with Hackett as their head coach, because one of the problems that I saw with Rusell Wilson in Seattle over the last couple of years was the fact that he got too overly reliant on the deep ball. There was a reason why Seattle's third down offense wasn't that great. It was because Rusell Wilson at times wouldn't take what the defense was giving him, and he would try to force the football downfield at times. And Rusell Wilson is one of the best deep ball throws that we have in the NFL. However, I feel as if he has gotten too overly reliant on it over the last couple of years. Then on top of that, for Nathaniel Hackett, even though you can say he didn't have the most ideal situation in Jacksonville, a good play caller is able to elevate his players on offense. He's also able to elevate his quarterback. For example, take Kyle Shanahan, right? Kyle Shanahan elevated Jimmy Garoppolo. He also elevated the backup quarterbacks that he had when Jimmy Garoppolo was out with injuries, such as Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard, okay? And also, take Sean McVay, for example. He was able to win a game or two without Jared Goff a season ago. So the best play callers in the game are able to elevate their quarterbacks, okay? A good quarterback elevates their play caller. And if you have a great quarterback plus a great play caller, then that equals phenomenal offense. Take Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. You see, Andy Reid, in a sense, kind of elevated Alex Smith. But then he needed a quarterback who could do more, which is why he went out and drafted Patrick Mahomes. And Kyle Shanahan on the podcast episode that he did with Sean McVay and Peter Schrager a year ago, you guys can go back and check it out. But he said that with him being the OC in Washington with his dad, he learned a lot. He learned that if you want to have longevity in this league, you got to have a elite quarterback. However, when you have a elite quarterback that can do more, it kind of takes some stress up off you as a play caller. And then allows you to have a little bit more creativity. So with Nathaniel Hackett, with him having Rusell Wilson in comparisons to Blake Bortles, he's going to have somebody who could take a bad play call and make it look good. However, I feel as if the best play callers are still able to elevate their quarterbacks, no matter how bad they are. So for Nathaniel Hackett, I question just how far Denver can actually go with him being their head coach, because I still have questions about how good he is as a play caller. He never called plays in Green Bay. All he really did with the Packers was help with the game plan and whatnot. And I do think that he's pretty okay when it comes to player development. I don't really know what to think of it, because when you're helping with Aaron Rodgers and whatnot, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers can pretty much coach himself. Remember when Adam Gase was the OC for the Denver Broncos, and then he became the head coach of the Miami Dolphins? Their offense wasn't really special. So you have to kind of have your eyes a little bit open when it comes to assessing how good guys are when they come from working with phenomenal quarterbacks. So for Nathaniel Hackett, I'm expecting the Denver Broncos to be able to make it to the playoffs. I think they should be around 10 wins this year. Worst case scenario, they win 9 games, but I think at best they could potentially win 12. But my overall prediction for Denver this year is 10 wins. And that's my expectations. Now, when it comes to them making a deep playoff run, I don't know. I really don't know, because you see, I still don't really know if he's as great as a play caller as what people think he is. As a matter of fact, nobody really talks about his play calling all that much. All we really just talk about is how good he is as a player's coach, and that is really big. But if you're going to be calling the plays, I got to judge you based off your previous body of work. So that's my first year expectations for Nathaniel Hackett. I'm not saying he's going to be a bad coach. I'm just saying that I kind of had questions on him when it comes to how far the Broncos can go in the postseason as him as the head coach, and I have reservations about him as a play caller. The offense is going to be solid. However, it may not be as good as what people think. So let me know, am I tripping? Am I kind of looking a little bit too deep into it? Let me know.